ACPS, my name is Stacy Roth, and I'm the Signature Program Facilitator at Broadneck High School. The Film Festival at Broadneck is an ongoing school tradition with a history dating back 12 years. But this year, we chose to move in a unique direction to showcase the incredible talent in our AACPS student community. Since 2010, Broadneck High has offered an underground film festival, where aspiring young directors at Broadneck could share their films and be recognized for their extraordinary talent. Previous contestants in this film festival have gone on to produce award-winning entries in regional and national competitions, including at the Oscars. Since 2017, the Signature Program at Broadneck has also organized a separate environmental literacy film festival, sponsored by our amazing partner, ClearShark H2O, and dedicated to films with an environmental theme or message. This festival has been open to student creators across the county and has focused primarily on education and advocacy in its film submissions. This year, I had the honor to join forces with Ross Steinley, veteran film studies teacher at Broadneck High and the organizer of the Underground Film Festival, to collaborate on the newly branded Broadneck Film Festival. This event aimed to combine the best of both worlds, leveraging the expertise and resources of each festival to offer one event and open to student directors across all of AACPS. As an event organized through Broadneck's Environmental Literacy Signature Program, our combined film festival features a special environmental category with unique awards such as Best Documentary and Best Advocacy. Our nonprofit partner, ClearShark H2O, continues to sponsor the event, donating prizes, staff, and logistical support. Held on Friday, March 25th, this year, the Broadneck Film Festival garnered the highest number of student entries ever of the two earlier events, 21 film submissions by a total of 29 student contestants. Entries came from across the county with strong representation from longtime contributor Central Middle, as well as great showings from newcomers at Cat South and Glen Burnie. Over 125 audience members were in attendance, with the event judged by 15 professionals drawn from across the film and environmental industries. Next year, we hope the festival will continue to grow and expand, increasing participation from even more schools around AACPS. We've been thrilled by the talent and enthusiasm of the AACPS community and are proud to offer a space where these talented young artists can showcase their work and earn praise and recognition that they deserve.
To all those who participated in this year's film festival, we'd like to thank you very much. Without your creativity, enthusiasm, time, and effort, none of this would have been possible. You are the next generation of visual storytellers. Your groundbreaking and visionary ideas mixed with classic cinematic elements and storytelling devices will help set the standard for filmmakers to come. If possible, we hope to see you competing again next year. We wish you all the best of luck in your filmmaking futures, and we'll see you soon on the red carpet.
My film was mainly focusing on how the Chesapeake Bay used to be and how it really greatly changed now. And I wanted people to know that it was declining. I went to the Chesapeake Bay with my friends and I realized it didn't look good, and it helped motivate me on what I wanted to make my film about. I hope the viewers will understand that things aren't going so well with the Chesapeake Bay, and they can take a lot of actions to help improve the bay's health. I will definitely be back next year because I enjoyed taking videos and editing it, and it was honestly a fun experience.
And oil and stuff like that. So then last year there was a water main break. So much water rushed over it that it broke the pond. So they had to come in and redo it. So see over there.
The Chesapeake Bay isn't just any bay, it's the bay, as in America's largest estuary kind of bay. It's important not just in status, but to many people, plants, animals, organisms. particularly important to the 6 states that surround this enormous bay. You, maybe without even knowing it, are impacted by the Chesapeake Bay. The bay and its ecosystems impacts our air quality, the water we drink, and the food we eat. Its ecosystems, like its wetlands and forest buffers, protect animals and people from the strong weather that might flood those areas. Just for those reasons so far, it's important to reflect on the bay's growth and struggles over the course of the following years. To understand how we can save this important body of water that impacts countless communities near the region, we first have to analyze the recent changes.
Is it oil?
The first State of the Bay report in 1998 had a score of 22. If you don't know about these State of the Bay reports, they're essentially these studies on the bay's habitats, fisheries, and pollution. Around 390 years before the first State of the Bay report, John Smith described a bay filled with diversity, a lush, thriving area along with multiple plants and animals he said he had found. Experts would consider the time that John Smith documented his findings in the bay to have a report of 100. Although we don't see another 100 in the near future, organizations like the Chesapeake Bay Foundation are working towards the bare minimum of a saved bay, which would be a score of 70. So, if 1998 had a score of 22, what's the most recent score? Well, personally, I'd find this a little underwhelming, but it sure is a start. After 22 years, the State of the Bay report had increased by 10 points to show 2020's score as a 32. The bay has many issues. It ranges from agricultural pollution to stormwater runoff. In between, there are issues like oyster loss and invasive species. It's a lot to take in, and it's even more when you think about the great impact humans have on the bay and its ecosystems. Take this for example. How does agricultural pollution start? It's farmers who put too much pesticides and fertilizers on their crops, which eventually go down to the bay. Even if there are problems that people didn't start, it's the actions that people didn't take that adds to the problems. But even still, we should look on the bright side. Although there are many problems, there are also many solutions and ways you can help the Chesapeake Bay. For instance, as little as planting a tree or a plant near water sources can help with pollution and runoff. Also, depending on the kind of invasive species, you can help reduce their population by moving them to their natural habitat or just calling a center that deals with them. For problems like agricultural pollution, if you plant fruits or vegetables, use natural or organic pesticides. Going to sites that are dedicated to speaking out to other people about the importance of the Chesapeake Bay, like cbf.org or chesapeakebay.net, can really help educate you on the causes of the Chesapeake Bay's state now and the effects that apply to us and the animals living there. The Chesapeake Bay is important, and although it's gotten better, I think we all can do a little better in helping restore it. The bay will always be a part of our past, and hopefully a part of our eventual future. But for now, who knows what that'll lead to?
It's about oysters in the Chesapeake Bay. There were a lot of problems with oysters, and I felt like not a lot of people knew about them, so I just wanted to raise awareness. I hope that they will realize how important the oysters are and how critical they are to the environment.
In 1608, Captain John Smith came to the Chesapeake Bay and saw this landscape. It had so many amazing, thriving plants and animals. Wouldn't you like to have a bay that looks like this? I know I would. But there have been so many declines in oysters in the Chesapeake Bay that they can't keep the water clean enough. If they did, you would see dolphins, manatees, and turtles regularly, even some whales, and there wouldn't be any pesky jellyfish. But we don't have a bay like this. We used to. Because of the decline in oysters, all of those amazing animals have either died or migrated elsewhere. We need to help the bay. Oysters are an important asset to the bay. They keep the water clean, they provide homes for small fish, and they provide food for animals and plants. But lately, people have been overfishing oysters. They think that it's okay to take as many oysters as they want from the Chesapeake Bay, not thinking about how they might impact all of the life depending on the oysters. It's not okay. The water is getting dirty because of this. There aren't enough oysters to filter it out. Did you know that one oyster can filter 50 gallons of water a day? A ways back, it would take only a week for all of the oysters in the Chesapeake Bay to filter it, so that you could see the bottom of the bay. But now, with how many oysters there are left, it would take over a year for all of the oysters to filter the Chesapeake Bay. People that are overfishing oysters probably don't realize this. Algae is overgrowing in the bay. Oysters feed on algae, that's their main food source. But because there aren't enough oysters to filter, the algae floats to the top of the water and doesn't let the sunlight in for other plants and animals, which stops the plants from doing photosynthesis. Then, the fish can't get the oxygen they need and die off in dead fish zones. This is really bad. If we restored all the oysters in the bay, we would have back all those amazing animals that John Smith's time had, and clean water. Here are some ways we can help the bay. 1. Reduce your nutrients input in the bay. Try to limit the amount of fertilizers and pesticides on lawns and gardens. Try to plant native plants that don't require fertilizers or a lot of water. This will help stop the runoff in the bay and help stop producing excess algae. 2. Save water. Turn off water when you're not using it. Try to take quicker showers. Use water-saving devices in toilets and in kitchen and bathroom sinks. This will help the bay from flooding when it rains. 3. Reduce erosion. Plant forest buffers along streams and shorelines. Make sure that the plants are native to the environment and won't overpopulate. Again, this helps with the runoff problem. It stops the nutrients from going into the water. Instead, the forest will soak up the water and give the trees more water to grow. They will love that. 4. Get involved locally. Join or be a volunteer at your local bay restoration program. Here, it's the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. You can help the environment in so many ways. Be part of the solution, not the problem. In the future, we can have so many ways of improving the Chesapeake Bay and its oyster population. We can invent things to help with the environment. We can use technology to help improve how many oysters there are. One invention that could make a difference would be to section off the part of the Chesapeake Bay where we could bring back oyster reefs and all of the organisms that depend on it. There would be no fishing allowed there, and there would be a net enclosing the area around the sides. That way nothing could get out or escape, and nothing could get in. There are so many possibilities to help the bay in the future. We just have to be creative and in a mindset to help the Chesapeake Bay and its oysters.
My film was about oil spills and how they impacted the environmental life of marine animals, mainly fish, and how it can deform them or hurt them in different ways. So my dad and I, and my whole family really, we live near the South River, and we also like going to waters and restaurants near the water, and we would walk down the docks and we would see like oil on the water, and that like really was uncomfortable for me to see that. So I thought this would be a good thing to talk about and like for other people to see and hear about. I want them to see how oil impacts fish, and not just fish, because humans like us eat fish, and the fish could have these pollutants in them, and when the humans eat them they could also get sick. So it's not just harming the marine life, it's harming the humans too. And I wanted to like boat people who have boats also see the problem and issue in this with oil spills out in the water. And my science teacher, Mrs. Davis, helped me a lot too with it, so I hope she can help me next year too. Our film, Ocean Pollution, was mainly about the different types of ocean pollution, how they affect like the ecosystem, and ways to stop those type of ocean pollution.
What motivated us was that we were learning about it in science class, and then after hearing about it, we both have like a tendency to really like try and solve problems around us. That's like part of our personalities. So when we heard about the film festival, we immediately partnered up and started researching in and out of the classroom right away, hoping we could like make sure to make a great film so others knew about it.
So I hope like viewers will understand the different types of pollution, how they affect the animals and the plants, the ecosystem around them,
and how to stop or solve these types of ocean pollution.
We also hope that viewers will have the spark to take action themselves on this issue and other issues around the world, such as like equal rights or other environmental issues. We really hope that viewers will be able to learn from our experience and be inspired by others as well.
I definitely think we'll be back next year, and we'll hopefully keep on making films that will inspire other people to take action and do the right thing.
Dad, did you see the news?
Yeah, I did, son.
I didn't understand the news though. What is ocean pollution?
I could show you both. Come with me.
Okay.
Do you see this?
Yeah, but what's the deal with all this trash?
Right, what's going on?
Have you heard about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch? The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is the largest accumulation of pollution in the world. These pieces of trash contribute to pollution problems like the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. But what types of ocean pollution are there? How does it get there? And why is it important for us to learn about it?
Those are very good questions, and I can't answer all of them, so listen carefully. Ocean pollution comes in many different forms. First, there is plastic pollution. There are over 150 million metric tons of plastic in the ocean. That's 500 times more plastic than stars. This is bad because animals can mistake plastic for food and consume it. After they consume it, they could suffocate and die because they wouldn't be able to properly digest it. This also affects us because when we eat contaminated animals such as fish and shellfish, they give us HAB toxins. HAB toxins can cause dementia, amnesia, and other neurological damage, and death. Second, there is thermal pollution. This happens when factories or large industries use water to cool down their machines. When the water they use goes down the sewers and lands in an enclosed water area, it can speed up life growth and force living organisms to eat more of their diet. Thermal pollution can cause a significant temperature increase in the water and can cause reproductive problems. Warmer water can reduce the fertility of some organisms. Other species may suffer birth defects or lay deformed eggs because of the chemical changes in the body caused by the warmer water. Third, there is noise pollution. Noise pollution comes from human activity like commercial shipping, seismic surveys, oil exploration, and military sonar. All of these noises can cause serious threats to marine life. This impacts a wide range of marine animals, such as whales, dolphins, invertebrates, fish, seabirds, sea turtles, seals, and more. Lastly, there is light pollution. Light pollution is the presence of unwanted, inappropriate, or excessive artificial lighting. When light pollution affects oceans, this can cause what's called an artificial sky glow, disrupting the natural biological cycles of the marine life living on seafloors, which relies on the light of the moon to regulate itself for behaviors such as reproduction, sleep, food, and protection from predators.
Wow, I didn't know that there was so much pollution.
Yeah, there's so much pollution in the ocean.
Are you guys talking about ocean pollution?
Yeah, my dad just taught us about the different types of pollution such as thermal pollution, light pollution, noise pollution, and plastic pollution.
Well, do you know some things that you could do to reduce ocean pollution? No, we don't.
I was just about to get to that. Would you like to explain it, sir?
Sure thing. Pollution you see can be reduced by using safer items like biodegradable water bottles, reusable bags, and more. In addition, thermal pollution can be reduced by modifying factories and large industries so that they don't use machines that will overheat very quickly. We could also find other ways to cool down the machinery other than water. Then there's noise pollution. Ways to stop noise pollution include redesigning the propellers of vessels, using lower intensity seismic vibration, and employing acoustic bubble curtains and energy generation stations. There are also solutions for light pollution. For light pollution, we could turn off light when it's not needed. We could also use LED lights to reduce the amount of electricity we use. Those are just some possible solutions that adults and their kids like you guys could do. If you're interested in this topic, you could also think of other ways to help the ocean. Wow, those are some awesome ideas to reduce ocean pollution. We should think of some solutions to reduce ocean pollution as well, Peter.
I agree, Jack. We definitely should.
Thank you, sir. I'm very glad that you came over to talk about ways to reduce ocean pollution.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. Today has been a very interesting yet fun day.
I agree. Today we learned about 4 types of ocean pollution and actions we can take to reduce them.
Let's walk back home, kids. It's getting a little late.
Okay, thanks for teaching us about ocean pollution, by the way, Dad.
Oh, you're welcome, son.
My film is called The Trash Dumper. It is about a boy named Hugo Hernandez who likes to dump trash in the water as a hobby. He's eventually convinced that he's obviously wrong, and he stops doing it. So it's just like a lesson about you shouldn't litter in the water. I was looking through the Broadneck Film Festival website, and I saw that one of the categories was like environmental advocacy. So I just decided to make a movie based on that. I hope what they get out of it is that while doing stuff like littering, like isn't really bad for like you per se, it's still really bad for the environment and animals and stuff. I like making like some short films with my family just for fun. So
this film's called Trash Dumper. It's about a kid named Hugo Hernandez who likes to dump trash in the Chesapeake Bay River. I hope viewers, what they can get out of the film is to, not dump trash, not litter, not pollute the earth. It's a good environmental message. I plan to get more into film editing or visual effects as my profession.
So our film is titled The Trash Dumper and is about a young teenager named Hugo Hernandez who has a hobby of polluting the water. And the whole premise of the film is to get kids who stop polluting water and stop throwing away their trash and to properly dispose of it. We hope our audiences will not pollute any sort of nature or any sort of public space or anywhere, and to properly dispose of their waste in proper bins like a trash can or a recycle bin.
Hi, my name is Hugo Hernandez. I am 16 years old and I live in Westview, Maryland. I go to West River High School, where I'm a pretty average student. I live with my parents and my sister. I get pretty good grades. I have a girlfriend and a few close friends, so I'd say I have a pretty decent life. I have a passion for cars. I'm planning to be a mechanic in the future. So overall, I'm a pretty normal guy. I don't have many hobbies. I guess I don't really stick to stuff like that. There is something I like to do though. I don't really know if you could call it a hobby or not. So basically, on most mornings while I'm walking to school, I have a tiny habit of, well, throwing my trash into the Chesapeake Bay. Hey!
Hey Hugo, did you dump your trash in the water again?
Yeah, so?
So? There's nothing good about what you're doing. What's the matter with you?
It's not like it affects us at all, so who cares?
Affects
like,
us at
it's
all?
Just trash.
Do you hear yourself?
Hi, my name is Rachel Thompson. I am 16 years old. Hugo's my boyfriend. We've been going out for around 2 months now. I like him for the most part. He's funny, he's chill, and he's a good listener.
The only times where we don't see eye to eye is when he dumps his trash in the water. I'm the president of the environmental club at our school. I've been trying to get him to stop his destructive behavior and join my club for ages, but he never listens to me.
I know there are some people who don't agree with my actions, but I have a good reason for doing this. When I was 3 years old, I went out for a fishing trip out on the bay with my dad. Then suddenly a big wave came. It tipped the boat and I fell overboard. If it wasn't for my dad, who pulled me up at the last second, I would have drowned. Ever since then, I've hated the Chesapeake Bay and water in general for as long as I've been alive. So I guess you could say that this is a form of revenge. So every day when I get home from school, I have this map of the bay in my room, and I mark where I'm going to dump trash next. The bay is massive though, so I haven't even dumped at half of the rivers yet, but I hope to dump at them all someday.
I don't really care what Hugo's doing. As long as he's not bothering me, I'm good.
I think it's good to see Hugo is so involved in something. This is something he really has a passion for. I'm just so happy for him.
Yeah, my family's cool with what I do. My parents tell me they're happy I'm so involved in something. Yeah, I do get into some arguments with my girlfriend at times, but I think she's cool with it for the most part, so it's not a big deal.
I have decided I've had enough of Hugo's behavior. Either he is going to stop, or I'm going to break up with him. Simple as that.
I'm going to dump some trash again today. I'm just going to the same place as last time.
Hey, Hugo.
Oh, hey, are you here to dump trash with me? Hey, why'd you do that?
Hugo, I'm here for an intervention. You can't keep dumping your trash in the water. I told Hugo everything that was wrong with dumping trash in the water.
I told him that while littering wasn't a problem for him directly, it is a huge problem for other people and animals. I also said that the Chesapeake Bay already has enough pollution, and he's just making it worse.
Now,
Then,
pick up that trash.
I didn't pick up a bunch of trash for a while.
Talking to Rachel has really opened my eyes about my littering habit. After some consideration, I've decided to stop my littering lifestyle, as she calls it. Rachel is having me join the environmental club, or else she's breaking up with me. But honestly, I think this is the best for me. So, hopefully, by letting Rachel guide me, I can learn something about how I can be good and helpful to the environment, I guess.
My film is called I Was Once a Clear Blue. It is a environmental advocacy about the point of view of an ocean in the bay and to get people to not pollute the oceans and bay. I was looking through YouTube for ideas, and I came across an environmental advocacy video, and I just happened to watch it and was inspired by it.
Our film is about the ocean and how much people in the world made it so dirty, and from this our ecology and the world itself is just getting damaged, and we're breathing with all this air and all this stuff that we trash every day in the ocean. We drink it, even though we think that the filters can help us, we still trash it, and we all this drink every day. All this water that we trash. I hope the viewers will understand that by trashing the whole ocean, the bay, it's not gonna help planet to become better. It's gonna make it worse, and we're gonna live in it. We're gonna live in a planet that is sooner or later not gonna be the best planet to live on, so we'll have to search for other planets. So I hope the viewers will understand that we have to save our planet, and we have to take care of it just like the planet take care of us. Yes, I do plan to continue making short films and maybe transfer to the longer ones.
There was a time, long ago, when I was a healthy flow, a perfect clear blue.
Было время, когда ты мог видеть меня насквозь. Но с тех пор прошли годы, и я стал коричневым. Отвратительно, грязно-коричневым.
When I had a plethora of fish, I now have a plethora of plastic. Bottles and bags fill my waves, and it goes on for days, months, and years. When I had colorful reefs, your factories breathe what I don't please. Now the color is gone. Some have disappeared. Some areas have one, some areas have none.
Еще есть трубы, заполненные отходами. Ты бросаешь их в мое синее тело, превращая его в отвратительный оттенок. А теперь посмотри, что ты наделал. Ты испортил свое веселье. Ваши устрицы умирают. Ваша рыба приходит в упадок.
You're killing your food, which was our gift to you.
Теперь ваши запасы продовольствия скудны, а мой рейтинг ниже среднего.
We aren't as healthy as we were back then, when I was once
я
a
был
clear
ясным,
blue.
голубым.
My name is Graham Elmore, and I won the Best Environmental Documentary Award in this year's Broadneck Film Festival. My film's called Water Quality Monitoring, and it's about the degraded water clarity in the Chesapeake Bay and Magothy River. And I made my film because of the degraded clarity of the water that I would see when I would go out on my boat, fishing, crabbing, and swimming with my friends. and I wanted to do something about that. So I made my film basically educating people about things that they can do to improve the water quality of the bay, along with the difference between water clarity and water quality. When watching my film, I hope people can learn the difference between water clarity and water quality, because it's not just as simple as people think, where how dirty the water looks is how it actually, the chemicals in it will harm you if you swim in it. It has more to do with phytoplankton and there's many complex factors that I measured with a Secchi depth and monitored through the drone footage. And I hope that they can realize that, along with ways that they can help improve the water quality and how important it is to do that. Next year, I'll be attending UMBC, studying environmental engineering. So I won't be able to attend next year's film festival, but I do hope to continue studying in the environmental field.
The health of the Chesapeake Bay isn't what it used to be, as many people already know. The main problems that many are familiar with are sediment runoff, which covers seagrasses and oysters, degrading their habitat. These grasses provide a home for small fish and a place for crabs to spawn their young. You may also know that winds and tide currents often resuspend the sediment, which reduces the sunlight to the grasses, preventing them from growing. The other main issue with this runoff is fertilizers and chicken manure, which are picked up by stormwater after being used for agricultural purposes. These excess nutrients flow over impervious surfaces while making their way to the bay, where algae blooms will occur, leading to dead zones. While most people have heard of these problems, we base our opinions on the health of the bay on how visually clear the water appears from the dock or beach. And the question that I aim to answer is the water clarity an effective indicator on the health of the bay? And what are the complex factors that influence the bay's negative water clarity? After researching this, I learned about the phytoplankton that live in the bay and their impact on the water clarity. Phytoplankton are microscopic organisms that live on the surface of the water, feeding on sunlight as well as dissolved nutrients. Most of these nutrients come from runoff, which means the more nutrients that enter the bay, the more phytoplankton there will be. Temperature also impacts the water clarity, because phytoplankton don't grow in cold water, which means that in the winter the clarity of the water is much clearer than in the summer months. Now, transitioning into measuring the water clarity, it's quite simple. I used a Secchi disc to measure the water clarity of my local pier. To use the disc, you start by lowering it into the water until I couldn't see it anymore, and then at this point I would pull it up slightly until it's barely visible. Now, this length of rope connecting the disc to the surface of the water represents the water clarity in that area. What I found from these measurements was that after a rainfall, the water clarity would decrease around 20 to 30 inches, which means the disc would go out of sight much sooner. This is due to the sediment and nutrients that run off into the water when it rains, degrading the clarity. It's also worth mentioning that on days with strong winds, the clarity measurements were much worse than on days with little to no wind. This is because the wind resuspends the sediment on the bottom, which clouds the water above it. Overall, the water clarity significantly decreased after it rained, which is really unfortunate because it shows the effect of runoff that we as a community have on the bay. There are many ways that you can help, with the first being measuring the water clarity near you before and after a rainfall. You can be able to visualize the effect that your neighborhood is having on the water clarity in your area. Next, eliminating the use of fertilizers and lawn killers on your yard will make sure that the runoff stormwater is unable to pick up these excess nutrients and then transport them to the bay. Lastly, reducing soil erosion on your property by planting trees or spreading mulch over bare ground is another way to help reduce the amount of sediment runoff that gets picked up off of your home. Overall, the clarity of the water is definitely the easiest way to determine the health of the bay, but there are many other important factors in the water which causes it to look a certain way. While this is true, it's also important to understand the negative effects that your activities can have on the bay in order to fix them and hopefully increase the health of the bay.
Hi, my name is Olivia Mawini, and I won this year's Honorable Mention Award at the Broadneck Film Festival. My film is called Moon Man, and it's an animated film about two girls who go in the woods and meet some weird alien creature and just their adventure. It took me about 2 months to make my film. It took pretty much every day at least 6 hours to work on it because I had to animate step by step each thing, and also the process to think of the idea and characters took a while. I've been making films in general since as long as I can remember, but I really got into animated films when I was in 7th grade. When people watch my films, I hope that they realize that they can make films out of anything. It doesn't always have to be with real life people. They can do it with animated things because animation is really cool. And in the future, I hope to continue making films and enter in more contests and just expand my animation.
So, what are we doing here?
Shh. Be quiet. Look at the sky.
Hi, my name is Judah Goldstein, and I won the Technical Merit Award for this year's Broadneck Film Festival. My film, The Hunter, it's about a normal high school kid, and he is bestowed these special abilities. But with these abilities, what he doesn't know is that there's this despicable hunter who's trying to kill him. And so, in the beginning of the film, he's really struggling to accept these abilities, but towards the end, he uses them to save his life. So I started making films a few years ago. I really started last year during COVID. It's really a tough process for me when I just do it alone. I really like doing the visual effects for my films. This one really revolved around that. I was also inspired by, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, which was that what would happen if there were these superheroes in a real world, and I really tried to touch on that. When people watch my film, I hope they get a sense of, he did that just by himself on a home computer, and it looked like that. So, maybe I can try that. And if people stop watching my film and they're a little inspired to take that kind of thing up, that's really success, in my opinion. I definitely plan on making films in the future. I really feel like I'm just getting started. And yeah, I think I'll be back for next year's film festival. Maybe a sequel. I don't know.
race?
No, you're already the fastest guy in school.
Come on, I have to train for the 5K.
Fine, just one.
All right, just one tiny race. All right, we're gonna go like up to there.
All right, fine.
All right, ready, set, go.
What the heck was that?
What?
You just ran there and back in like 2 seconds.
I don't know.
Thomas!
Get away from me!
What are you doing? You almost killed me.
Hey, Thomas, are you okay? Why don't you sit down here?
So you've heard.
Rumors from kids.
You know what happened. Have superpowers ever existed?
I would like to tell you no, but the true answer is yes.
I want to know everything.
Before I start, I'm not losing my grip on reality. Many years ago, millions of them, one person was gifted superpowers. Primitive ancient civilizations viewed that person as a god. Their depictions also described another who challenged said god. There are no other mentionings of the god or challenger until it happened again 2 days ago.
2 days ago? That was me. What just happened?
I don't know.
He's here.
Thomas, wait, come back!
He's only here for me. I'm going.
Have you accepted your fate? No, this isn't fighting you, huh?
I'm stubborn that way.
So you've accepted your abilities. You're still yet to master them.
You missed.
It won't happen again.
Oh, you're gonna love this.
Hi, my name is Julian Ewald, and I won the Artistic Merit Award in the film festival. And I used my film called A Company, and I made it during a time where I had to be isolated due to the pandemic. It's just kind of about where my mind was taking me artistically during that time of isolation. When people watch my film, I just kind of wanted to just share my kind of cinematic ideas, just to have it be like artistically pleasing. Even though there's not necessarily a story to it, I just want it to be like an entertaining, artistic thing that people would enjoy watching. I've been making videos since I was about 6 or 7 years old. And I would make videos along with making music. So when I would make videos, I would also score them and do all the music for them as well. I do plan on doing more film work in the future for music videos for other artists and for myself, and mainly just for like fun and little side projects too. And if it seems like a good career path in the future, then I'll probably take that career.
My name is Mark Crooks, and I am the winner of the Broadneck Film Festival this year. And I've submitted 3 films, but 2 of which were named Maine and Dead Friends, which I created just on my own time. And it was just some personal projects that I had put a lot of energy into, and it was definitely an experience for sure. There's not too much to like making a film, and it's like it doesn't have to be like, oh, you have all this big equipment and you have a big camera, you got a drone, you got all this. It's not about that. Like anybody can go out and shoot. Everybody has a phone in their pocket, right? So there's room for creating anything that you're into. And for me, it's just like putting together footage and creating some experience in a scene, and trying to display an environment that is not too familiar to the viewer. And that's just important. So it just stands out, and it's something that you will never see anywhere else. And I've been making videos and like editing on iMovie and Final Cut for about 8 years, ever since 7th grade. I remember I had this class, or this teacher, and she was like, all right, you have to make some like little project. And I remember I was like so into it, and I was watching YouTube all the time when I was younger. So I was just naturally super into that, and I kept going with it with the recording. And over time, I got a better camera, and you just kind of learn over time. But for me, it's something that I'm definitely looking to pursue in the future, especially with college. And it's really exciting, and I have a lot of fun with it. That's the most important part of it, though. That's just to have fun. For anybody that's not super into video production or hasn't really looked into the whole side of it, it's kind of like a blessing and a curse to look at films and videos in a certain way. The way that I perceive all the content that I personally create, it just isn't the same for anybody else that watches it. So it's just important for me to, try and create an experience and create a scene for people to identify. And I just want, for everybody that has the opportunity to see any of my videos, I just want everybody to enjoy it and, feel kind of in the moment. And that's really important to me. So, it's not about like how many people watch it. The most important part of my creativity stems from music, and I choose certain songs that I've listened to and they hit me emotionally. So it's kind of important to look at all the small details and understand why a song was created, who created the song, and what the song is trying to convey. In terms of making a video, I kind of base all of my feeling and thought when it comes to the shooting process based off of a song. My video, Dead Friends, we shot the video over the course of 2 shooting days. And we did the green screen first, and then we did these outdoor clips in downtown Annapolis. And like I wanted to emphasize the name of the lyrics pertaining to the artist's thoughts and feelings when creating the song. As an editor, it's important to be able to match emotion and create a visualization for a song. You wouldn't think that it's like, oh, it's not that hard, or like you could listen to a song and start imagining something, but really putting in like the time and effort to create that thought or that idea is something that I've been working on my whole life. So my favorite shot in that video was the ATM scene, and there's also the face on the money scene. That was like, those 2 shots were kind of iconic to that video. And for the ATM, there's this ATM in downtown Annapolis, the Wells Fargo ATM. And the day we went to go shoot down there, it was out of order, which was perfect. The shot was perfect. We had this fisheye lens to get this wide view shot on the ATM, and we had the money coming out. And then also I did the face on the dollar bill, which was probably one of the most excruciating edits I've ever done, but it turned out amazing. I encourage everybody to pursue their passion, no matter what it is, and I hope to see some music videos next year.
Dark Side.
All my friends are dead. By Bobo Mighty.
Hey, 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 hey. Favorite artist. Wow, wow, wow. feeling super lonely. Hold up, rest in peace to all my homies. Hey, all my friends are dead like Lil Vert. They keep me company while I put in this work. Still thinking about my first time. I had my heart kicked down up in that dirt. I told myself I'd always be alert. So, friends, I only wanna work. Now I shoot my shot like dirt. Ho, you cannot tell me stop, I'm on a go. Whoa, always keep me a stick long like a pole. Okay, try to take what's mine, I'ma pop your ass in the nose. Hey, Bob too damn emotional when it shows. Lately, I've been feeling super lonely. Hold up, rest in peace to all my homies. Hey, all my friends are dead like Lil Vert. Lately, I've been feeling super lonely. Hold up, rest in peace to all my homies. Hey, all my friends are dead like Lil Vert. They keep me company while I put in this work. Mama said, boy, go to church. I pray to God, but it don't work. I swear to God, I might be cursed. And if you try me, I might kirk.
See, hold up. See, look, man, I had it all up now, you know what I'm saying? I thought you just pray to God and God give you what you asked for, but now you gotta put it in action, you know what I'm saying? You gotta put action behind the words, like, come on, man.
Hey, I'll be the last standing on my own 2 feet. Ain't have to get it out the mud, but I got dirt on my cleats. And I can't trust the soul playing for keeps. You talking dirty out your mouth, my fists will clean up your teeth. Hey, I feel like a god when I speak. Make sure you never judge, you can't walk a mile at my feet. I hope you learn a song, take some knowledge from me. And this ain't overnight, gotta ride for the dream. I just might die for the dream. Lately I've been feeling super lonely. Hold up, rest in peace to all my homies. Hey, all my friends are dead like Lil Vert.
are you guys looking at? You guys are seriously gonna go hunt for Bigfoot just because some site wrote about local eyewitness accounts? How do you guys even know these random sites are telling the truth?
Sure it's true. We have pictures and everything. They're a little blurry, but still, it's true.
Look, you can't just waste your time on something that's not real. You can't just believe everything you see on the internet.
Alright, we'll be smarter about this.
In the future. This is now, dude. Let's do this.
Dude. Tim. You recording this, man? Yeah, sure am.
That was weird. Oh well.
Are you guys okay?
We just proved you wrong. Yeah, we have video evidence of Bigfoot's existence.
What? Let me see this. Wow, you guys actually did it.
Really?
No, you idiots. This isn't even Bigfoot. Look. Where'd all this Bigfoot stuff come from anyway?
Sit right here.
Newsscamsforidiots.com? Really?
Oh. Yeah, we should probably check our sources next time.
Yeah. Even the name.
Caleb, you got an impressive resume. Makes you look so. Makes you look like so. Where are you going? You're not in time. Hey!
I am nothing but a madman.
Well, in case you didn't read that book, everyone poops. And pee-pees. It should be as simple as...
Mr. Teacher, may I please use the potty?
Yes, you may.
But sometimes you get there and this happens. Or this. Relieving yourself shouldn't be a challenge. So don't be gross or disrespectful by causing a ruckus in the bathroom. Someone has to clean up your mess. How do you think that makes them feel? Remember, it's not a party, it's a potty. This message has been brought to you by Gopher Nation.
Okay, pull up, skirt, top down. I'm on the list at the top now. I don't really pop out. You ain't talking money with the did it talk about. Put him on game, no homie can't stop now, huh? Put a game in a lockdown. Yeah, been the same and I stay so made with it. Only thing changed, been the chains that I rock now. I be like, pull up, skirt, top down. I'm on the list at the top now. I don't really pop out. You ain't talking money with the did it talk about. Put him on game, no homie can't stop now, huh? Put a game in a lockdown. Yeah, been the same and I stay so made with it. Only thing changed, been the chains that I rock now. I be like, hold up, yeah, rock out, huh? Chump change when I pop out. Put big bills and I need little bills. I can't show with the that I got now. What you mean? I don't really need to talk now. Infrared beams on top of the Glock now. Get that cream. I'm really a 4 beans, more green being broke. I must have forgot how. I be like, whoa. I be in the man now, well, You don't want these hands, no, I be in the DMV spending that cash when you know these bands go. I'm really cold with it, so the fans gon' go. I don't be toting it, but my man's gon' blow. Your brain knocked off, I'ma need stock. Oh, we gon' shake the whole block like a damn snow globe. Skirt, top down. I'm on the list at the top now. I don't really pop out. You ain't talking money with the did it talk about. Put him on game, no homie can't stop now, huh? Put a game in a lockdown. Yeah, been the same and I stay so made with it. Only thing changed, been the chains that I rock now. I be like, pull up, skirt, top down. I'm on the list at the top now. I don't really pop out. You ain't talking money with the did it talk about. Put him on game, no homie can't stop now, huh? Put a game in a lockdown. Yeah, been the same and I stay so made with it. Only thing changed, been the chains that I rock now. I be like, candy paint dripping off the wax, huh? Diamond earrings and chain to match. All expenses paid, I relax. Cause my pockets stay getting molly fat. They gon' look, stare, roll their eyes. I'ma act like I don't know why. Cause I dropped a rack on a Prada fit just for the je ne sais quoi. Put him on game, only I know. We frontin' within the game, be the 5-0. One click, keep changed up, slideshow. One lick, got it laid up, hitting high notes. Bringing it back, my name in the phone, be the Cairo, huh? Yeah, whoa, it's a vibe though. Red line, underneath his words, it's a type. Also one try, hit him in the throat, and his eyes closed. Yeah, you chuck on the ground, I'm a hopscotch. I must be a hot spot. Cause the bar's getting me service everywhere. I can give a with an op dot. You better call fam quick, cause I lock Pro Tools. Couldn't even get a shot off when it crossed me. You better talk to the hand on the man that I listen to, the one that's on the crosswalk. And then I pull up, skirt, top down. I'm on the list at the top now. I don't really pop out. You ain't talking money with the did it talk about. Put him on game, no homie can't stop now, huh? Put a game in a lockdown. Yeah, been the same and I stay so made with it. Only thing changed, been the chains that I rock now. I be like, pull up, skirt, top down. I'm on the list at the top now. I don't really pop out. You ain't talking money with the did it talk about. Put him on game, no homie can't stop now, huh? Put a game in a lockdown. Yeah, been the same and I stay so made with it. Only thing changed, been the chains that I rock now. I be like.
Forest fires. Without them, storms such as hurricanes can move farther into our land and jeopardize our safety and community. They can also throw off the balance in the habitat too, and that's not good.
Forest buffers, that being trees and plants, can filter out a lot of extra nitrates and phosphates, even in rivers. And all of these nitrates and phosphates, or at least the extra, will prevent pollution in the Chesapeake Bay.
These extra nitrates and phosphates can cause algae blooms in the bay. These algae blooms can cause dead zones, killing extra fish, oysters, crabs from the lack of oxygen.
And now a quick commercial break. What can you do to help the Bay?
You can make a water filter!
Save the bay, ay. No more trash, ay. Couple oysters helping out, algae in the way. Run it back, ay. 2 Johns missed days, that's a fact, ay. Chemicals that pollute it, like nitrogen and phosphorus. They enter the bay as runoff. That info makes me scoff. I found you long ago in the bay, and now you're destroying it today. Now get your oysters out, 'cause right now the algae be coming out. You were never really trying to save it anyway. I can show you what the bay does if you compensate. You can't hide from it now. Get your rating off the floor before it will be too late. Need to get these tests done so we can get the numbers up. You'll never get close to my 100. Need to get the wetland safe. As long as the bay is okay. I'm a bay lover, yeehaw. I will restore buff because I'm smart, cause the bay is getting cleaner. We can do this, I don't sing for fame, I do it for the movement. I pollute JK, I'm kidding, do not sue me. I said the bay and you pollute it. Chemicals that pollute it, like nitrogen and phosphorus. They enter the bay as runoff. That info makes me scoff. I found you long ago in the bay, and now you're destroying it today. Now get your oysters out, 'cause right now the algae be coming out. You were never really trying to save it anyway. Ooh, I can show you what the bay do if you compensate. Ooh, can't hide from it now. Get your rating off the floor before it be too late.
The bay's not that clean, so let's try to fix that. The bay's getting too nasty. Yo, shouldn't let the runoff touch it. Not too late, cause I'm here to save why the bay is so nasty. I send more oysters to the beach with the trash bag. Make the wetlands wet again. Tell them all to keep playing oysters, cause they filter the bay. Fish are proud of me, they making toast. I'm the type that saves the bay. Said I make a change, I clean up the bay. Now stop polluting, no more deforestation. The bay is essential to this nation. Maybe no more fertilizer, let it grow. Those carnations, that 70s coming sooners. Flowers are just late bloomers. Bay didn't peak at 32. We're just getting better, all these polluters. Get them all picking up trash, cause it's no joke.
I found you long ago in the bay, and now you're destroying it today. You today can't hide from it now. Get your rating off the floor before it be too late. You were never really trying to save it anyway. I can show you what the bay does if you compensate. You can't hide from it now, so get your rating off the floor before it be too late. Yeah, on the industry bay. I'm saving the bay, yeah.
I thank you for supporting our signature program.